500 people, all earning between $100,000 and $180,000 per year, all broke, not struggling, not making ends meet, broke, less than $15,000 in savings, credit card debt, no investment accounts, living paycheck to paycheck despite earning more than 78% of American households. You'd think earning six figures solves money problems. It doesn't. It just changes which problems you have. I spent 6 months analyzing the spending patterns of 500 high earners who couldn't explain where their money went. Tax returns, bank statements, credit card data, budgets. I found the pattern, and it shows up so consistently, it's almost algorithmic. 3 spending categories destroy these people. Not restaurants, not coffee, not avocado toast. Category 1 shows up in 91% of broke six-figure earners. Category 2 shows up in 83%. Category 3 shows up in 67%. If you're earning 6 figures and still stressed about money, at least 2 of these are destroying you right now. I'm Kevin. This is Prosperity Levels. Over 8 years working in financial analysis, I've seen this pattern repeat hundreds of times. High income, low net worth, confusion about where it all goes. Today, breaking down the exact spending categories that keep six-figure earners broke, why they're so hard to see, and how to break the pattern without feeling deprived. The 3 categories with real numbers, the psychology that makes them invisible, and the 5-step framework that actually works to break free. They show you the pattern. First, let me show you what broke looks like at 6 figures. Median six-figure earner in this study, $127,000 annual income. That's $10,583 gross monthly. After taxes and benefits, approximately $7,200 take home. Median monthly expenses in this group, $6,950. They're saving $250 per month. At that rate, it takes 3 years and 4 months to save $10,000. They have no emergency fund, no investments, no retirement beyond employer match if they're lucky. Where is $6,950 per month going for someone with no kids, no debt other than a car payment, and claiming they live pretty simply? That's the question that breaks people. They genuinely don't know. When I break down the spending, 3 categories consistently consume 58 to 72% of take-home income. Housing, transportation, lifestyle creep disguised as necessities. But here's what makes this insidious. All 3 feel non-negotiable. They feel like you can't possibly cut them. That's why the pattern persists. Let me walk you through each category, what it actually costs, why it feels necessary, and what it's actually doing to your wealth trajectory. Starting with the one that shows up in 91% of cases. Category 1. Housing above 35% of gross income. The old rule was 30%. Financial advisors now say that's unrealistic in expensive cities, so they moved it to 35%. But here's what nobody tells you. Even 35% is wealth destroying at 6-figure incomes. At $127,000 annual income, 35% is $3,700 per month. In this study, the median broke 6-figure earner was spending $4,100 monthly on housing. That's 39% of gross income. Just 4 percentage points over the acceptable threshold. Seems minor. It's not. That extra $400 per month is $4,800 annually. Invested at 8% for 20 years. That's $236,000. $250,000 sacrificed for an extra bedroom or a trendier neighborhood. Here's why this category is so deadly. You get approved for it. Lenders will approve you for housing up to 43% of gross income. If you make $127,000, they'll approve you for $4,519 monthly. You think, the bank approved me, so I can afford it. The bank doesn't care if you build wealth. They care if you make payments. And here's the psychological trap. Housing signals status. At 6 figures, you feel like you should live in a nice place. Your peers do. Your Instagram feed does. A modest apartment feels like moving backward, so you justify $2,400 rent or a $450,000 mortgage that puts you at 38% of gross income. It feels appropriate for your income level. But wealthy people with actual net worth keep housing at 20 to 25% of gross income. They live below their means in housing so they can build wealth everywhere else. Broke six-figure earners do the opposite. They maximize housing and have nothing left to build wealth. 91% of broke six-figure earners are spending 36 to 42% of gross income on housing. That's the pattern. It's not 50%. It's not reckless. It's 4 to 12 percentage points over the guideline, and it's destroying them. Housing is category 1. Category 2 is less obvious and more insidious. Category 2. Total vehicle expenses above 15% of gross income. Not just the car payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, registration, parking, tolls. The full cost of vehicle ownership. 83% of broke six-figure earners are spending 18 to 24% of gross income on vehicles. At $127,000 income, 15% is $1,588 monthly. The healthy threshold. Median broke earner in this study, $2,100 monthly total vehicle cost. Here's how it breaks down. $650 car payment, $220 insurance, $280 gas, $150 maintenance and repairs averaged, $85 registration and taxes annually averaged, $180 parking, plus another $200 to $400 in Uber, Lyft, airport parking, car washes, and miscellaneous. Every single line item feels justified. I need a reliable car for work. I drive a lot, so I need something comfortable. I keep my cars for a long time, so buying new makes sense. Insurance is just expensive in my area. All true, all irrelevant. Here's what wealthy people do. They buy 3-year-old certified pre-owned cars and drive them for 10 years. A 3-year-old Toyota Camry costs $22,000, financed at 5% for 4 years. $508 monthly payment. Insurance, $140. Gas, $280. Maintenance, $100 averaged. Registration, $65. Parking, if unavoidable, $180. Total, $1,273 monthly. That's 12% of gross income. The difference between $2,100 and $1,273 is $827 monthly. That's $9,924 annually. Invested at 8% for 25 years. That's $787,000. You just traded $750,000 for a nicer car, and you don't even realize you made that trade. At 6 figures, you feel like you've earned a nice car. You work hard. You deserve it. Your coworkers drive Autos and Teslas. A 10-year-old Camry feels like failure, like you're broke. But the person driving the 10-year-old Camry with $400,000 invested is wealthy. The person driving the leased BMW with $8,000 in savings is broke. They just look successful. And here's the killer. Every 3 to 4 years, broke earners upgrade. They're never not making a car payment. The payment becomes permanent. They're financing a depreciating asset for their entire working life. Wealthy people buy once, drive for a decade, own it outright for 6 to 7 years. No payment for most of the ownership period. Category 2 is vehicles. Category 3 is the most invisible and the most expensive. Category 3, earning subscriptions and memberships treated as fixed costs. 67% of broke six-figure earners are spending $650 to $1,100 monthly on subscriptions, memberships, and recurring services they consider non-negotiable. Here's the median stack. Streaming services, $87 monthly. That's Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Apple TV+, YouTube Premium. Fitness, $165 monthly. Gym membership, class packages, Peloton subscription, fitness app. Food delivery and convenience, $118 monthly. DoorDash Pass, Uber Eats Pass, Instacart Plus, Amazon Fresh. Professional and Productivity, $94 monthly. LinkedIn Premium, Adobe Creative Cloud, Dropbox, Notion, Grammarly, Password Manager, VPN. Lifestyle and Entertainment, $73 monthly. Spotify, Audible, Kindle Unlimited, Masterclass, Skillshare. Personal Care and Grooming, $142 monthly. Subscription razors, skincare, supplements, monthly beauty box. News and information, $38 monthly. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Medium, Substack subscriptions. Other recurring, $96 monthly. Pet subscription box, Wine Club, coffee subscription, meal kit trial you forgot to cancel. Total median monthly subscriptions, $813. That's $9,756 annually. On services that individually seem trivial, this category is invisible because no single item feels significant. $13 for Netflix? Whatever. $8 for Spotify? That's nothing. But $813 monthly is nearly $10,000 per year, being auto-debited for services you use inconsistently. When I make broke earners audit subscriptions, they cancel 30 to 45% immediately. I forgot I was paying for that. I signed up for a trial and never canceled. I used that twice in the last year. They're spending $300 to $400 monthly on subscriptions they're not actively using. The ones they keep, they defend aggressively. I use my gym membership. Do you? Or do you go 4 times per month, making it $41 per visit? I need Adobe for work. Do you? Or could you use Canva for $13 monthly instead of $55? Meal kits save me time. Do they? Or do they cost $12 per serving when you could cook the same meal for $4? Wealthy people ruthlessly audit subscriptions quarterly. If they're not using it weekly, it's gone. They pay annual instead of monthly when it saves 15 to 20%. They share family plans. They rotate streaming services instead of stacking them all. They treat subscriptions as variable costs, not fixed necessities. If you're spending $813 monthly on subscriptions, and you cut that to $400 by eliminating waste, you save $413 monthly. That's $4,956 annually. Invested at 8% for 20 years, $245,000. $250,000 auto-debited for services you barely use. Those are the 3 categories. 91% housing trap, 83% vehicle trap, 67% subscription trap. Now, let me show you why smart people fall into this pattern. These 3 categories are invisible because they don't feel like overspending. You're not buying designer clothes. You're not taking luxury vacations. You're not gambling. You're living in a decent place, driving a reliable car, and paying for normal services. It feels responsible. It feels like what you're supposed to do at 6 figures. Here's what actually happens. Lifestyle creep. You get promoted. You're making $115,000 now instead of $75,000. You think, I can finally afford a nicer apartment. You move from $1,600 rent to $2,300 rent. That's $700 more monthly. Your raise was $40,000 annually. 333 monthly pre-tax, maybe $2,200 after tax. You just allocated 32% of your raise to rent. You feel like you're being reasonable. You're not buying a mansion, just a nicer place. Then the new apartment is in a better area, so you need a better car to fit in. You upgrade from a $380 payment to a $625 payment. Then your coworkers at your new level all have Pelotons and subscription meal kits and premium streaming setups, so you add those. 3 years later, you're making $127,000, and you're more broke than when you made $75,000. And here's the psychological lock. These expenses become part of your identity. You're not just renting an apartment. You're a person who lives in this neighborhood. You're not just driving a car. You're a person who values quality and reliability. Downgrading feels like admitting failure, like you're going backward in life. Your peer group reinforces it. Everyone at your income level has similar housing, similar cars, similar lifestyle expenses. If you suggest living more modestly, they look at you like you're crazy. You make 6 figures and you're worried about a $15 subscription? Yes. Because 15 subscriptions is $200 monthly. Because the car you can easily afford is costing you $800,000 over your lifetime. Most broke 6-figure earners have no idea this is happening. They genuinely believe they're being responsible. They're not buying boats or Rolexes. They're just living normally. And that's the trap. Normal at 6 figures is designed to keep you broke. Now that you understand the psychology, let me show you how to break it. Step 1. Audit all 3 categories this week. Housing. What percentage of gross monthly income are you actually spending? Include rent or mortgage, insurance, HOA, utilities, maintenance. Vehicles. Add up every vehicle expense for the last 3 months and average it. Payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, parking, ride shares, everything. Subscriptions. Log into your bank and credit card accounts. List every recurring charge, everything. Step 2. Set category targets. Housing. Get to 30% of gross income or below. If you're at 38%, that means downsizing or getting a roommate or moving to a lower cost area when your lease ends. Vehicles. Get to 12% of gross income or below. That means buying used, driving longer, eliminating car payments. Subscriptions. Get to 3% of gross income or below. At $127,000, that's $317 monthly. Cut everything you're not using weekly. You will resist this. Your brain will generate reasons why you can't. I can't move. My lease isn't up for 8 months. Fine. Start saving the difference now so you can afford the move when it is. I can't sell my car. I'm underwater on the loan. Fine. Make it your last car payment ever. Drive this one for 10 years. I can't cancel my gym. I'm using it. Are you? Track it for 30 days. If you go less than 12 times, cancel it and do home workouts. Step 3. Create a 12-month execution timeline. Month 1 to 3. Cancel subscriptions immediately. Save $300 to $500 monthly. Month 4 to 6. Research housing options for when lease ends. Calculate exact savings from downsizing. Month 7 to 9. Execute housing move if needed. Increase savings by $500 to $800 monthly. Month 10 to 12. Evaluate vehicle situation. Plan to drive current vehicle at least 3 more years. No upgrades. If you execute all 3, housing, $400 monthly savings from 38% to 30%. Vehicles, $600 monthly savings from 20% to 12%. Subscriptions, $400 monthly savings from $813 to $317. Total, $1,400 monthly savings. That's $16,800 annually. $16,800 annually invested at 8% for 20 years is $827,000. That's the difference between broke at 6 figures and wealthy at 6 figures. Same income, different choices. Step 4. Reframe your identity. You're not cheap. You're strategic. You're not depriving yourself. You're building optionality. You're not failing because you drive a paid-off car. You're winning because you have $200,000 invested while your coworkers have car payments. Step 5. Make progress visible. Set up a separate investment account. Every dollar you save from cutting these 3 categories goes directly there. Watch it grow. When you're tempted to upgrade housing or lease a new car, let that account balance. That's what you'd be trading. At 6 months, if you execute this framework, you'll have $8,400 saved and invested. For the first time in years, you'll have breathing room. At 12 months, you'll have $16,800 invested. That's more than most 6-figure earners have in total savings. At 24 months, you'll have $33,600 plus growth. You're building real wealth now. That's the framework. Now, let me bring this home. 500 broke six-figure earners. 3 spending categories destroying them. 91% spending 36 to 42% of gross income on housing. 83% spending 18 to 24% on total vehicle costs. 67% spending $650 to $1,100 monthly on subscriptions they treat as necessities. The pattern is predictable. Lifestyle creep, peer pressure, identity lock, expenses that feel non-negotiable, and it keeps smart, hard-working, high-earning people broke their entire lives. You can earn 6 figures and be wealthy, or you can earn 6 figures and be broke. The income doesn't determine the outcome. The spending pattern does. Audit your 3 categories this week. Set targets. Build the 12-month plan. Execute it. In 1 year, you'll have more saved than you've had in the last 5 years combined. Drop a comment. Are you 6 figures and struggling to save? Which category is destroying you: housing, vehicles, or subscriptions? I read every comment. This community has solid insights. Next video, the 4-hour portfolio review that saved me $34,000 in taxes. Step-by-step process you can copy this weekend. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Earning 6 figures doesn't make you wealthy. What you do with 6 figures makes you wealthy. The pattern is breakable. Most people just don't know it exists. Now you do. I'm Kevin. This is Prosperity Levels. We show you the patterns that keep smart people broke and how to break them. Go audit your spending. Build the plan. Execute it.